Glad to have you here. I'm glad that everyone is enjoying the streams. I was surprised if people are gonna come to YouTube or not, but yeah. Hello, Axolotl, Hellspawn. Oh, hello, baby. It is always a pleasure having your company. So yeah, how was the day? Did you have a nice day? I hope that at least today, the week started off in a good foot. You know what I mean? Make sure to exercise plenty, make sure to drink water, and do all those things. You will make sure that you will have plenty of serotonin. Hello, Carson. How's your day? My day was pretty chill, actually. My trainer right now, he's not currently available, so I'm not really exercising as much as I would. So I'm taking it as a long break as well. I also bought a new microphone. If you don't know, I'm gonna get a tattoo live on stream because this Saturday, it's gonna be the 3 years anniversary of my channel. And I'm kind of nervous, so we're gonna celebrate it on Twitch, and I'm hoping that everything goes well with our voice. VC, huh? Always sound like melody in my ears. Oh, sweet of you, baby. This is not the only one for me that is not Sandra. I get you, Scully. I'm doing somewhat okay because I'm on my monthly. Hey, it's okay. There was the trainer stepping in. No, he's only one guy. Should I invite Icy in? Let's see if he wants to join. There you go. I'll invite him. Hello. Did you already decide on that design? It's a surprise. But it's gonna be picked from one of the suggestions. The tattoo artist is polishing, but the design is gonna be picked from one of the suggestions that people made. The contest, I guess. There you go. Can you hear?
You have now.
Oh, that is very loud.
I can lower it on my end if needs be.
No, I can control it here. It's okay. Can you speak again? Can you speak again?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Now it looks perfect.
Perfect.
There you
How's
go.
it going?
It's always a pleasure having some company. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, I'm doing
It's been a while since we talked.
I know, right? Yeah, not since, what was it?
Oh, if you want to, there's a website called Discord Reactives. You can set your PNG to be like showed up on the screen. Here you go.
That's actually a good idea.
Hello, Stephanie, Squid Audio. But yeah, it's actually kind of crazy. You don't usually stream a lot, do you now?
No, I don't. I've been wanting to get into it for a while, though. Quite a bit. In fact, some people have been asking me, do you stream? Why haven't you? So,
yeah.
Alright, if you hear it enough times, you might as well start at that point.
I mean, I have to say, the ASMR people, they usually are very to themselves. So usually they,
yeah, that's
oh, you
true.
want the kitty? Sorry, I completely forgot. Let me put on the kitty as well.
Oh, yeah, you got a cat.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Nyla. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember you saying that the person who drew that.
Yeah.
Clip of you.
He's gonna look more of a furry in the new update. So,
exactly. You said, you can look at an animal drawing and say, you're a furry.
No, absolutely. Absolutely, you can pinpoint. But yeah. Will I go into heaven and listen to both of you guys' voices?
I just looked at that and thought, oh, it was an adorable cat. Oh.
I see. Yes. It do be like that.
Hey, Kingsley.
Wait, is that the handle? Or did I put it wrong? I see. It is your handle. Why is your handle Icy Narrate 603?
I have no idea.
You should probably change that so nobody catches yours.
That's true. I think it might have said something like all the others.
Yeah, it defaults because they changed the URLs and they gave you the option to choose. I guess you must have missed it. Smile on my face from this. I feel like people are very much enjoying the unexpected collab.
I'd say so. Unexpected collabs are, well, they're kind of like surprises that are double the fun, or at least double the voice.
Hey, it's always fun to have some surprises, you know.
Ah. There you go.
Ugh.
Always fun to have double the trouble.
But yeah, what have you been working on, by the way? I know that we're always so busy, and it's usually like that. I get a lot of creators. Some people misunderstand. They think like, oh, he doesn't really have time to spend time with his friends. It's not really like that. Is that most of the people that I know, including myself, they're always so busy. Like, it's like a billion projects at the same time. So it's never more that we don't hang out and more so that we're always busy all the time.
It really is the case. Like, oh, after today, you know, I'm probably going to go back to editing. In fact, editing something that you recorded as well. Just
oh, the Caleb? Not the Caleb, the villain one?
Yeah, well, that's right. You edited you voiced a couple.
Was it Caleb actually? Yeah, I did so many voices this past week. I actually kind of just.
Yeah. One of them was Caleb. Yeah. I was going to keep it a surprise, but you know what? So many people have been asking about.
Did you not see it? Oh, you mean the new one? You mean the new one?
Yeah. So, the Mobster is now in 3 seasons. The writer behind it, we went back and forth about it, and needless to say, it was one of those audios that started out as just, you know, a simple one-off.
One of the things that like really scaled up. Yeah.
For real. Like, you ever had a story that you just think, this should be a fun little experience, but as you're crafting the characters, you're crafting the world, crafting the little situation, you start to think to yourself, this situation warrants just a little bit more detail. Like,
no, absolutely. Right here. I think most of my stories, actually, from the Vampire Lord to the Tsundere Dragon, pretty much all the series that I have were like started off as a one-off thing that just grew.
For real. I'm Eva.
I see people asking you if you're supposed to be a knight or a prince. Which one are you supposed to be? You want to talk more about yourself?
All right, I'll delve into it just a little bit. So the icon, people call it the Prince of Chill because I help people chill, kind of like the name Icy. Some people have also, based on quite a few audios that I've made, my most popular is a king, so some people call me the Winter King. A nice, soothing, resting season. So is he a knight? Is he a prince? Well, I'm a few things. I try to keep myself interesting, though, most importantly. The other little icon that I've planned on making for the VTuber model, I'll say, that I'm planning on making. Oh
yeah? You're right. Yeah. I mean, I guess you're spoiling all your surprise today.
Might as well. Are there any surprises left to make at this point?
I mean, I'm sure people are going to enjoy it. Like, even if they knew, they are still going to enjoy it regardless.
At least there's that. Thank you, Stephanie. Yep, the Winter King. The Cool King. I like that, Foxy. That's there we go. The Cool King. So for a VTuber model, I was debating between 2 of them. I decided one was a Cryomancer Prince, you know, the Prince of Chill, because I thought that was one that a lot of people recognized me for. It fits the theme of the channel very well, helping people relax, helping people chill, but at the same time, kind of like a winter wind blowing in, unpredictable. It goes from nice and refreshing to suddenly excitement. So I thought, a lot of my RPs are like that. They can be relaxing in one moment, another one could be adventurous, another one could be just could be action-packed. So I figured, you know, maybe the Ice Prince avatar wouldn't be as accurate, we'll say. It only covers one side of it.
I mean, you know,
I'm actually going with
your VTuber is more supposed to be like kind of like a representation, not really just like a picture perfect thing. Everyone has their own personalities. Like Iron Mouse is supposed to be like the devil, for example, but isn't, you know, something like that. I mean, I'm not a very role play kind of guy, even though I am a voice actor. I prefer to separate the characters from the person, even though I just like portray myself as I am. The VTuber is just supposed to be the face, because I feel like from the ASM artist perspective, the voice actor perspective, becoming a VTuber comes very naturally, because you're already voicing characters anyway. It's just pretty much like one that is supposed to be yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not a very creative guy, so I just said my character is just supposed to be me. It's just me. It is just anime version of me.
So it's just a part of your personality, just exaggerated. It's anime.
Pretty much. It is pretty much the same thing, but like you know,
When you get mad, you get that little plus sign in your forehead. You start
I have a few expressions as well, but I usually,
huge
the
head.
model is actually so well rigged that usually if I just frown like this in real life, it just like it responds to it. Live 2D technology has progressed a really, really long way from like 2 years ago.
Well, for real. Like now there are people actually making guides on how to make your own VTuber models, how to rig them, how to draw them, how to add little things to them. Everything from how to design your background to full-on guides on how to debut. Oh gosh, it's definitely progressed from then on.
Absolutely. AI
And
see
for
how's
those of you who
Tor?
are asking,
People are asking about Tor.
yeah, I've got about 3 or 4 of them. Stephanie, Tia, Mega. Thor is actually doing really well. I got a new roommate who brought a dog in, a German Shepherd, a little 2-year-old German Shepherd named Moose. And Moose is a goofball, all I can say. But he's Thor's goofball now. So he moved in just yesterday or the day before, I think it was. Yeah, it was 2 days ago at night, but yesterday we finally got to have the dogs meet. And Moose went from, because he's a German Shepherd, natural security dog breed, went from being very cautious, very, ooh, I don't know if I can trust you just yet, to suddenly seeing Thor walk in, Mr. Comfort Dog, Mr. Therapy Dog, Mr. Perfect Boy, suddenly wagging his tail and going, you
I
are my
see.
best friend now.
Oh, that is just lovely. That is just lovely.
I mean, could you expect anything else here? Even, you want to know something funny?
Do tell.
So this actually fits into my channel just a little bit. A brief theme with hounds or with wolves of some kind. You know, winter. I've been known to have my own little dog whispering traits, but I don't think that's really something you need to boast about. Just something you can enjoy in your personal life. My roommate sent me a little message yesterday while he was gone, because I was watching his dog and Thor at the same time. Or more likely, Thor was watching the dog and I was just there. He then says, he's a bit skittish at first. He might not let you pet him. Sent him 2 pictures of me scratching behind Moose's ears, petting him on the head. Just thought, no, he just needs a little bit of love and care. He's just like all of us. He's got stressful days.
Yeah, and you gotta always so
house.
respect the space of the animal, right? A lot of people
Of
like
course.
they just don't know how to interact. It's the same thing with cats as well. Cats are usually the more, because they're a little bit more complicated than dogs, I would say.
Cats are sassy, I swear.
It's not really that. Is that they have like little quirks. The same way, for example, if a dog is like feeling threatened, it will not let you join its space, and you should definitely not introduce in its space if it is feeling threatened. However,
Angel,
the same thing goes with the cats as well. A lot of people misunderstand cats. It's to say like, oh, for example, they're alone, they don't like company, or they're not very social. It's not the case at all. But you should definitely respect the animal's space and know how to interact with it, so you make sure that it's going to like you.
It really is the case. Yeah. Some animals are also just better at expressing it, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, some animals just don't like people. I remember I had a really old dog. I would always joke that she's immortal because the only way she died was because of an accident, because she would not get old. And she was not very social, like at all. She did not like company. She would just be on her own. She would not do much, and she would really not care about other people, you know.
What type of dog was this?
He was a Dachshund.
Okay, Dachshund.
Hello, Sian. Hello, DG. Thank you so much for the gifts as well. Lily, Enzo, Sonia, Chilzerin, Cupidots, Earthling, and your name is in Russian. I don't know how to say it. Yeah, a lot of people are on gifts and donates as well on TikTok.
Nice. Titus just said they have 11 crackhead cats. Oh man, that is one way to put it.
My dog is Beta's spot on her lap right now. How cute.
Oh, cute. Right now, both of them are behind me asleep. And Moose, goodness, he really does remind me of a cat, now that you mention it. And you say, honestly, I think some people are like this too, where they do have their space. But tell me you haven't met somebody who's also, or maybe you yourself are like this a little bit. If you don't feel like outing yourself, you can say, yeah, I know somebody who likes to have their space. but they like to be loved and cared for in their own way, and they just have no idea how to express it.
I mean, that's what I was saying before. It's like the animals
Right.
have ways of like expressing their, how should I say it? Their ways of expressing their emotions. And for example, if a dog is being very territorial and you get inside of it, it's not gonna like that. It's not gonna, no matter how friendly you are, it's not gonna open up to you. And I feel like it's the same thing as well. It's very similar to people as well in that regard. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Except Moose, I gotta say, is one of those odd jobs where he goes from liking you to suddenly saying, who are you? I don't know if he's just, well, in one moment, let me pet his head, and if I turn around and turn back, looks at me like, wait, I don't know if I can trust you yet.
Hello, Gemini.
Walk
Hello,
away.
Tutus. Hello, Tia. It's always a pleasure having some company. Yeah, thank you so much for everyone that is joining as well. I know that it's very new to be streaming here on YouTube, but yeah, I decided to change a bit of my schedule. Usually I would be streaming on Twitch today. However, I thought that people on Twitch, like, I'm someone that I believe that, like, channels should have their niches, right? And I do have this YouTube channel. I was just, like, doing the YouTubes. But I figured to try and change a little bit. I just removed the streams, the ASMR streams from Twitch. And I just moved them to YouTube. Because a lot of the people that were following me on Twitch is actually kind of funny. So a lot of the people were saying like, oh, I saw you on TikTok. I didn't know I did already followed you on your channel. Well, hey, I followed you on TikTok or Twitch and I didn't know that was you. So I've been trying to, like, it's not really to grow or change the schedule. It's more about reorganizing the schedule. So it feels a way that fits more, I suppose.
I mean, Twitch and YouTube definitely have their own spheres, that's definitely for sure. And also, somebody asked any recommendations for up-and-coming VAs? Curious, do you have any?
I would say actually just use your voice. One of the very things that, like, voice actors, because voice actors is the same similarly to artists as well. You don't need professional education to get onto the work itself. There's plenty of online resources, there's plenty of free resources as well that you can use. And for the basics of it, of course, like, having a formal education is going to teach you things that you wouldn't otherwise think. It will give you connections, which I think it's, like, pretty much the most important thing as well. But the really big thing is just, like, getting used to your voice, and that's something that you can do right now. You don't need a fancy microphone. You don't need, like, anything else. Just get used to recording yourself, listening to your own voice, and really acting. A lot of people forget to, like, the acting part of voice acting, right?
Get into character and do not mind the cringe when you edit.
Yeah, you do very much will cringe at your own voice the first time you're editing.
I don't think I've met a single person who hasn't listened to their own voice and then want to chuck the headphones off. Like, no,
And
I don't even know what that is.
Afterwards,
Exactly
you can
the
start,
point.
and then
Pretend it's
afterwards,
noise.
you can, like, start thinking about getting, for example, a better microphone, like, get you a better space.
Yes.
The same way, like, a comparison that I like to make is that the space that you record in in voice acting, the space that you record is akin to lighting when you're taking a photo. If you have the most wonderful microphone, it's gonna sound horrible if you don't have, like, a proper space to record in. Even if it's just inside of your own, like, wardrobe, or, like, if you have, like, a home studio, it's gonna be night and day. So and it's very cheap to, like, have just like some sound some acoustic foams and all those things. It's very cheap. You can get it for very cheap. It's gonna look awful though, so maybe if you have, like, a proper space that you can record, that would be better, because it does look awful.
But you definitely nailed it, though. The most important part is definitely not nail yourself. Good gosh, don't quote me on that. The best thing you can do is get yourself down. Figure out what you like to do. It's almost like discovering yourself. Like,
No, it
before
is
you
like
get into a
discovering yourself.
relationship- Yeah, exactly. It's like before you get into a relationship, find out what you want. You know, before you go into voice acting, before you get into a YouTube channel, find out what you want it for. Is it
And
just
a
for
lot
fun?
of people always say it as well, like, oh, my voice is not well for this, my voice isn't well for that. Every voice has its niche, but you gotta find your niche. For example, I'm gonna use my own experience for that. May I draw you, Kindred? Of course, Andrea. I love receiving fan art. But like I was saying, I am someone that I like doing comic dubs, and my voice, as you know, does not lend itself to do very young characters. So a lot of characters that I voice that look on the younger side, people would ask, "Oh, why is this 40-year-old dude is like trying to record? Why does he sound like that?" And it's just like you gotta find the characters that fit your voice. Like there's a reason why the characters that I do usually fit the stereotype. You know what I mean? It's because it fits my voice. Is the thing. It's what comes naturally. He's 40. No, I am 26. I'm saying that people say that I am 40, even though I'm 26, because my voice sounds like that. You know what I mean? I keep missing your streams because I'm busy. Baby, you are always free to come on the weekends. Don't worry about that. I know that your life can be busy sometimes. The fact that you want to be here, or that you are here right now, that already means a lot to me. Speaking of which, I know that I'm saying that's a lot. I've just been very nervous about it. This Saturday, on the 12th of August, there's going to be the channel anniversary. I'm going to be celebrating my 3 years of anniversary of the channel. And I'm going to be getting a tattoo live on stream. So, you know, I hope that you all come around to see. It's going to be on Twitch. It's not going to be on YouTube. But I'm sure it's going to be lots of fun.
Oh gosh, can't wait to hear your reaction. I gotta ask you a question now. How big is your pain tolerance? How much?
It's pretty easy. I already have a lot of tattoos, so I'm pretty used to it.
Okay.
Aside from like so basically tattoos, the pain tolerance that I usually compare to, it would be akin to like a sunburn. It prickles a little bit, but it's not even as bad as like donating blood, for example. It's very light. However, there are places that the tattoos are gonna hurt a lot. For example, like your pulses, the neck, the face. Those things really, really hurt. Now there you absolutely like, you know what I mean?
No, I would not, Ariel.
Oh, did you?
Ariel asks, would you ever get a tattoo, Icy? Not really. I don't really find a use for it because my interests shift over time, you know? So why put something permanent when probably not going to like it in a couple of years, you know?
Well, yes, that is very much like something that you... That is very much something that you...
Though, I have gotten a couple of scars over the years, though. So I think the only thing that would maybe make me think about it is if, say, got a pretty nasty scar in a visible place, maybe putting...
No, absolutely. I've seen a lot of like tattoo artists that do amazing jobs. Amazing jobs with like covering tattoos. It is actually something that I find really righteous about the profession, the job profession, is the people that specialize in like doing cover-ups for like tattoos, for scars, like birth. Is it marks? The little things that you're like born with. The
birthmarks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, I have not, by the way, Tia. I have not quite ever wanted one.
Squiddo, thank you so much. Time to throw my money at the screen. Love you boss so much. I don't make the streams often, but I say thank you for the comment audios. Definitely have gotten me through it sometimes. I think, and I'm pretty sure Icy will agree with me on this, but it is a little bit tiring to work on like having so many channels and like producing as much. But one of the most rewarding things that like ASMR channels provide is the kind of comment that people say, like, oh, I really had like a bad time, because I'm gonna talk about myself, but when I started listening to ASMR channels when I was in a very bad place of my life, and it really helps out to just have like some comfort that can take your mind away from things. And the best kind of comment that you get is like, oh, I was having like a bad day, I've been having some bad times. And just listening to your audios and taking my mind away from things, it just really helps me keep on tracking. And I think that's like that's
actually a compliment somebody gave me to you as well. It is rewarding. There was one little comment somebody made. This was sometime last year. It was a comment about myself, you, and Siren Sun. Coincidentally, they were naming their 3 favorite ASMR artists.
I hear. I can see from like not only the comments but also the analytics as well. That is the people that usually listen to me, and you also listen to Siren as well. I mean, I do respect Siren a lot. I think he's also super chill. So you
I
know,
like that he's got
I
a
think
story
they're
to
in good
August.
hands. There's a few people that I'm
For real.
like, kind of hit or miss. A lot of people that I don't know, especially because I'm kind of to myself. But you two, I absolutely know that you guys are very professional creators.
hmm They even said, "Oh, they're my favorite, but for different reasons." I said, "Gotta hear these.
Well,
What are the
everyone has their
reasons?"
niches, you know. Like I said, everyone has their niches. Some are more cooling, some are more spicy, some are more adventurous as well. Another one that comes to mind is GBA, and I find him very interesting because he focuses a lot on like superheroes, and it's very unique in a sense. Like pretty much all he does is like superheroes, I think, or at least the ones that I've seen.
DC Comics, Avengers? Are we talking like
Uh,
All Might from
no,
My Hero
no, I
Academia?
think actually I can pull him up.
Well, the person who was also talking about the three of us said, "Oh yeah, I like you guys for different reasons. For Kindred, I find a lot of horny but wholesome content. For you, I see, I find a lot of wholesome but horny content. And for Siren, he's got like a healthy balance of both in different doses." I'm like, if that's not the dynamic.
I feel like Siren goes for a more like I go for like a soft himbo kind. He goes for more bear looking characters, at least from the visuals. And you go for more
From the
chill
visuals, yeah.
Ikemen kind of like characters as well. But
That's
I like that description. I like
Ikemen
the
definitely.
horny but wholesome and the wholesome but horny.
Yeah.
Inside of me there are two wolves.
It's like a meteor on a
One of them
baby.
is horny but wholesome. The other one is wholesome but horny.
Choose your adventure. Adjust the slider. On one side, you've got horny but wholesome. On
Hey,
the other,
everyone
you've got
everyone gets a
wholesome
little
but
bit of
horny.
everything, you know. Everyone gets a little bit of everything.
You can find a healthy balance.
Oh.
Yes, Ivory, that is so.
That is very specific. I mean, we haven't known each other for close to like not really. I mean, I can say we've known each other for like close to 3 years now.
I mean, I remember when your channel was like still 5,000 subscribers or something like that. Shoot, Siren actually started in my server, he said. So that was a fun little journey seeing him grow.
No, absolutely. But you also had to keep. I mean, I guess it was like quarantine as well. A lot of YouTube channels had like a pretty big boom, which it's kind of crazy because
For real.
like I've told this story a few times, especially when like people start asking about my origins. But I was not planning on like making an ASMR channel. I just like I basically I had like I used in college I used to live with about like $50 monthly because that was as much money as I would make from like freelance, and I did not have like a stable job. So I had just received a stimulus check, and I was like relapsing onto like a very bad depressive episode. And as soon as I did, I was like, all right, I have to do something. I can't just like do nothing because this was like 1 month during quarantine, and it was like kind of like rough. So like I have to put myself into something, and I always wanted to get into voice acting. So when I did, I bought this like Blue Yeti microphone, I believe for $200 because Brazil has a lot of taxes.
Here.
Brazil has a lot of taxes, right? And I just posted those. It's actually kind of funny because I kind of like doxed myself day one without really realizing. Because it was just my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel was just like, it was just my face. And I just posted there because I was like, yeah, you know, I'm going to do some things. I don't really have anything else to do. I didn't pay for it. And it was just, all right. And then it blew up and I'm like, all right, this is my life now, I guess. So I blurred out. A lot of people asked for like, why do some channels have like blurred artworks? It's because those are the ones that I didn't pay for it. And as soon as I started Patreon, as soon as I started monetizing, I was like, if I'm going to do this professionally, I got to do this professionally. So every single white from the very beginning, it has always been like commission artworks with everything all sorted to be like actual proper job. Okay. And that's like kind of how it started. And then like started going on YouTube streaming. Kind of didn't pan out because YouTube streaming is kind of like hit or miss. And then we did Twitch, TikTok, and then we're at now 3 years later.
I mean, it sounds like the circle of life. You eventually start doing shorts, you go on YouTube, you go on Twitch, you come back.
I feel like everyone has their own journeys. I'm someone that in my attitudes towards like life, I always like you plant a lot of seeds and you reap the ones that grow. That's like kind of like
That's
my attitude towards
basically how
things.
this channel started, actually.
Precious info. Need the as ASMR Pantheon picture. Pantheon. Oh, you mean
Yeah,
like every single
for
creator? I don't know. There's a few ones that are like so basically in the ASMR circles, at least for like the storytelling kind of ASMRs. I'm not talking about the like actually
true,
like
true.
proper ASMR. There's a lot of circles.
Proper
And
ASMR, like rubbing a paintbrush and being like, okay, today,
yeah, doing
hey,
those like
everybody,
mouth noises. Nah,
going
nah.
to, oh gosh, no, I can't stand those.
I feel
If I
that
want to
those
listen
are
to
not
somebody,
really for me. But like I said, like
yeah,
ASMR channels have a lot of niches. An example that I can think of like easily, there's a lot of ones that are like, for example, like male for male, male for female. There's ones that are female for female, and those usually tend to like have very different circles. You'll have like one or two creators that will like fit the niche, and they will usually be their own circles. So you know, there's a lot of, for example, like VTuber ASMR that are just their own circles. You know what I mean? You think starting your VA career is easier when you already join an established VA, or you just like yourself doing collabs later? You as an artist, as any artist, as any creator, you will get better with time. So your early access, your early works are gonna suck. Your first time tries at everything are always gonna suck. Baby's first audio is probably gonna have some defects that in a year's time you're gonna be like, man, I could have probably done this better. I could have probably did this differently. But you shouldn't mind about that. What you should do is you produce. The first thing that you gotta do is produce. The first step is taking action, and it's the hardest one. It's the one that most people will not take. And the second one is being consistent. Try to consistently improve upon yourself, and don't think about equipment. Equipment should be the last thing that you're thinking about. Think about like techniques, learning, the story, editing as well. The free softwares, you can go a very, very long time with Audacity. For like the first year and a half, I used to use Audacity. That was it. Before I started like investing into like the Adobe pack and like getting a proper microphone, a studio microphone, getting my studio ready, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And to answer a question that Meva asked quite a bit ago, do I plan on doing part 2 of the teddy bear date? That was actually made by a couple of commissioners. So if they make a part 2 follow-up, then yes, definitely. I'm up for doing a part 2.
And Gato, Emmy. Nothing to see. Thanks so much for the gifts as well. I appreciate all the gifts. You guys are too sweet. Sounds like Vox. Do you want to know a fun fact? A lot of people compare me to Vox because, you know, Vox is a corporate VTuber. They got a lot of sponsors and backers. But I came first. Okay. The Kindred Spirit channel came first before Vox. So, you know, and I also have the trademark. So I'm safe with that.
Maybe you need to go sign up with a management company.
I don't know. I'm always very insecure about signing up with companies. I've had a few offers as well. But I don't know. I'm always very insecure. I have one that is currently gonna help me post my channels on Bilibili. But I haven't heard. I haven't settled up for the. They have like agreed to it, but they haven't like sent me the contract yet. And it's like it's a small company. It's like a 15 people company, so you know, can't really expect them to be like super fast. But they have been super helpful. They already helped me out, said a lot of things just for free, so you know. But it's something that I'm very the only thing that I would not argue, like in terms of like signing up with a company, would be the copyright. I want to be the detainer of my copyright, just as like an artist thing. But I don't really care about
to sell your content for just anything. I want to protect it a bit.
Exactly, because I don't want, like, for example, like, because this character, again, it's not supposed to be a character, it's supposed to be the representation of me. It's not like me per se, but it's supposed to be me, like the person. So it would be kind of a shame to like have it like resolve and like have to like lose that figure that I've built. You know what I mean? And I heard your ASMR voice, it helps me calm down whenever I'm stressed and nervous. That is very sweet. That is very sweet, isn't it? Saying channels of good-hearted people grow makes me happy. Absolutely. Although I have to say, most of the people that I have interacted with, like as much as creators, they've been super chill about it. They've been nothing but respectful, nothing but professional. You know, everyone has their own style, but it's not really like there have been very few bad apples in like the 3 years that I've worked. You know,
Yeah, very few. It's always good to know. I mean, it's a lot better than very few good audios, very few good moments.
When I heard you
I'm sure.
ASMR, regular roleplays are my favorite mostly. I just like to lose myself in those comforting scenarios. Yeah, that's pretty much it, actually. It's just pretty much just lose yourself, just like even just a little bit. Like I said before, even if it doesn't do much, if it just makes you feel a little bit better for a few hours, then that's good enough, you know?
The whole point of a nice RP, give you either something to relax about, something to forget about your worries, or the chance to go on an adventure that you really couldn't do otherwise.
Yeah. Hello, Queen. Thank you so much for the 100 roses as well. And Dawn, thank you so much for the gifts as well. It's very sweet of you. Thank you so much. Hello, Sousa. Hello, Blueberry. How you doing? Yeah, whenever I do the ASMR streams, usually the TikTok streams don't do so well. TikTok is very, they're always very, high energy, would I say? So it's not
very
exactly
sporadic.
I guess it really comes down to like the platform as well. I've also recently partnered with TikTok, and
Very
well,
quick watch this
it's
now.
not that I dislike TikTok. It's just that it's a different vibe. That's why I think the TikTok fits a lot better with like Twitch, for example.
And plus, if you don't use it a whole lot, how would you know what type of content people like if you don't even use it?
Some audios made me cry of joy too. Oh, sweet of you. How do? Hello, Lynn. Hello, Cassandra. How big an ASMR girl? Well, they're nice ones in a while. Exactly. It also is something that like, it doesn't, like, for example, you can like a piece of like music, but you don't have to listen to the whole like band, you know? Like if you just like a video, then it's fine. You can just stick to that video. Like a lot of people are very much into like, for example, the Venom video, or maybe the Tsundere Dragon. And I'm sure you have your characters as well, and they will always be there. Like it's not that the new works. A lot of people like sometimes they're very, especially the ASMR people, they tend to like make a million parts for the audios, and it's cool if you want to do it. There's some like, for example, like Siren also loves doing expensive universes. I like doing new experiences because that's like the kind of guy I am. But even if you don't, your audios will always be there for you to re-listen to. Like it doesn't.
Do you have any storylines?
I do have a few, but though like recently I've been working a lot more, so it's just like you gotta pick your fights. You know what I mean? When you're managing 4 channels, you gotta pick your fights.
4 channels.
And you also, I stream every day on TikTok and on Twitch. I do YouTube on two YouTube channels, the highlights channel and the ASMR channel, and I do the Billy now.
You sound like the VA that never sleeps.
I usually don't.
The human New York, goodness.
A lot of people yell at me for that, actually.
Oh man, get some sleep, will you?
I get anxiety if I don't work, and I'm a unapologetic workaholic. Both of my parents are like that, so it's just how I've always been grown. And yeah.
Here's an any percent speed run you might fail. Do a audio roleplay Kindred about not working too hard.
I think I've done that actually. One of the recent ones was like something similar to that, which is kind of ironic. But
one just a week ago.
it is kind of ironic, but what can you do? You know?
Yeah. I remember doing one just a couple of weeks ago, or a week ago. After recording a couple of audios while trying to work on that VTuber model. Fun little fact, everybody, I'm actually trying to create it myself because some tools are possible. And I figured if I can't get a good handle on it, then I'll get to support a very talented artist somewhere. And working on the audio, I think it was 10 o'clock at night, something like that. I thought, yeah, always good to be up late at night as long as you're doing something progressive, right? When you're listening to your own voice, though, that's saying, hey, you're not supposed to wait until your gas tank is empty before going on a road trip. I was like,
kind of ironic.
It's like the Spider-Man meme pointing at each other.
I understand. That's important. You may get angry if you don't. Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be fine. I've been doing this for 3 years. It's not like I'm gonna stop now.
Yeah.
You need to work. Don't force yourself to overwork. It's not that I force myself. It's also like something that kind of goes along with the thing. But if you love your work, it doesn't feel like you're working, so you just tend to do it because you enjoy it. So it's just gonna keep doing. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like if work doesn't feel like work, it becomes a lot more bearable. It becomes a lot
might
more.
have to spend some time rekindling that passion, though, just so you're not going through the motions. Pocky, did somebody yawn? Hopefully that's not me yawning into the microphone.
I told my medications that really I'm getting sleepy now. How much money do you have to throw at you to take a full day off? Not even no amount of money could get that. Many have tried actually, because it's not about the money. My money, you would know where my money goes. All money that I do usually works to self-investment. Like be it making the models or the computer that I bought like a few years ago to start working on this. The things, it always goes into like a. Recently I've been saving a lot, for example, to get like a 3D model, because I always like doing, for example, like things like VR chat and a lot of those, and it takes a lot of, usually very expensive, so that's like the thing that I've been saving recently, because I don't like doing crowd funds, because it feels like I don't like putting that weight onto people. I like just having, and if I have enough to pay my bills and just like keep working on full time as I do, I don't really like need any more than that. I'm very frugal in that way, so it doesn't really matter to me. I mean, it is kind of crazy when people donate a lot, but it's not something that like would, like, for example, oh, it's just I'm doing okay now, I'm gonna stop working, because I like what I do. I'm passionate about what I do.
I mean,
maybe a rage room might help. Never been to one, but I've always find it fascinating. But yeah, I kind of spoiled a little bit. I was gonna save that for like the anniversary. But yeah, I'm working on getting a 3D model made, so I can like go into VR chat or like do those MMD things. Maybe stream on 3D, but I'm probably not gonna use that. I like this model a lot, but I always wanted to do those like things with 3D, and I do have a 3D model that I bought, but it was like not made to scale, so it is like, it doesn't look like this at all. It does not fit my character anymore. Also, like William, thank you so much for the rose as well. The cat's adorable. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The kitty is a cutie, isn't she? Cool models, yeah.
Do you actually have a cat named Nyla in real life?
No, Nyla's supposed to be my girlfriend. She's the one that made the model. I do love cats. I do love cats, but I don't have one. I have 2 dogs, and they would not like the idea of me having a cat.
Thor actually befriended a cat in our yard one time. Kid you not. Smartest cat I've ever seen. Back when I lived with my parents a few years ago, there was a group of stray kittens that lived in their backyard. Now, my mother is big into landscaping, same with my dad, so they have a pretty decent sized backyard. At some point, they found a couple of kittens. Well, one day, one of the cats just walks up to my mom, and of course, looks up at her. Big little bright eyes, fluffy face, just tiny meow escapes her voice. Naturally, she's gonna fall head over heels, and what do you know? Cat befriends my dog Thor. A couple days go by, the cat is living in our house, and I head out to the backyard. There was a campfire out there, so for a date, I thought it'd be a fun idea to roast marshmallows over a campfire. I walk out there with my dog and my date. Dog runs off into the bushes. Group of stray cats run out of the bushes, over the fence. My dog runs into the same bushes, and out of the same bush, all nonchalant, is that same cat just walks out. We call him Binks after that Halloween movie. I'm like, so Thor, you had a problem with those cats, but you didn't have a problem with this one? He's like, nah, he cool. He's got the street cred. I'm like, that is the smartest cat ever. He just got a free bed anytime he wants. It's warm in the house, and he befriended the dog where him and his siblings like to hang around.
Sounds like a very social cat.
Yeah, for real. A little too social.
Remember when you made it cry? That made me feel something deep inside of me. Oh, I don't have any shame in that. A lot of people call me a softie, but I don't really care. I don't like, if something makes me emotional. I've had a lot of those cases, especially where, like, for example, people sent me like cute messages or like letters. I don't shy away from that. You know what I mean? Like I said, my character is just supposed to be me. The street credit cat distribution system at work.
Exactly, Daisy.
But yeah, I don't shy away from those things. You know what I mean? Hello, Cheese. Are you okay? Yeah, we're doing, just having a good time. We are having an ASMR stream today, which is a little bit harder from the usual, especially the people on TikTok that know me as the loud Latino himbo. But you know, there's plenty of signs. There's plenty of sides of me that you don't know. You know what I mean?
We're a dynamic group of people. Like I said, he's not just horny, he's not just himbo, he's wholesome, he's laughable, he's happy, and he's lacking in lots of sleep.
But I do feel like people always like have like very mixed surprises when they, for example, they only see me on YouTube and I'm always playing the, like, you know, those kinds of characters where they've only seen my streams and they see the YouTube channel and they're like, oh, I didn't know I could feel that way, but here we are, I guess. So it's always very fun. It's always very fun to see people. It's always very fun to see people's reactions to like the things that I do.
Alright. Titus has a question for us. Pick a color: red, blue, or neon purple?
I like the thought of like red and neon pop. I mean, those are my favorite colors.
Purple and blue is a really nice combination too. It's like a royal combination, especially with a nice gold trim.
I like it as well.
A little sash on my icon in the gym. I was actually tempted to change that over to a royal purple. I thought, you know, maybe that'll be another debut. I was actually thinking about
yellow or gold? Gold all the time. Hello, Furomi. Hola, corazón. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Estás bien? Kindred is a diverse man. Himbo, content creator, nerd, and e-girl. Shut up with the e-girl thing. I'm not gonna break character now. I'm not gonna break character now, but I would yell at you if you didn't. It's because Nyla sold a feet picture of mine for like 100 pounds. And they're never gonna let me live that down. I'm not even joking. I think it's a collective bonk necessary for all of us. Hey, it's okay. Listen, we have one rule here at the Kindred Spirit live stream, is that if you want to be down bad, you have to be funny about it. If you want to be down bad on my stream, you gotta be funny. Otherwise, you do get timed out. Hello, it's Selene. Thanks so much for the rose as well, Cariño. See, Cariño.
Down bad at the 10-mile yard? Or down bad at 10 yards? 10 bonks?
God damn it, the voice got me mad again. Got me again. I mean, that's kind of the point, isn't it? It's kind of the point.
Meva, if it is cliche, I'll still give you a virtual hug.
Oh, sweet. You've made a business decision. Remind me of warm chocolate instead of bun. Churros on a cut. Cold 89. As chaotic as you can be, you give a lot of comfort. But that's like kind of the point that I stream. See, the streams that I do are mostly supposed to be funny. They're more like along the lines of like I said, if you're having a bad day, if you're just like not really great, or if you're just like average, and you just come to watch my stream, if I can make you like laugh a little bit or just like make a day just a little bit better, that's kind of a win for me, you know. And of course, you do live off of donations. You gotta have some donations every now and then to help you live out. But as long as I'm making enough to get by and like self-invest into the channel, I'm cool with that, you know. I don't need much to live. I mean, if you want to be rich, definitely don't be a content creator.
Yeah, this is more for hobby's sake.
This is more of a passion. This is more of a passion work kind of thing. You can make you can live off of it. That's not to say that you can, but the chances that you're gonna be rich off of it are very slim. Don't start again. Last stream on TikTok. Yeah, TikTok tends to be very rowdy. What do you think of Chile, the obvious country? I don't know. I've never been to Chile. I'm Latino, but I'm Brazilian, so I've never been to Chile. My dad has been to Chile. I've been to Chile before, but I didn't go with them. So you know.
Did I also hear you speaking Spanish a second ago, or was that Brazil? Was that Portuguese?
It's Spanish, but it's kind of like we call it porteño, which is Portuguese and Spanish are very similar. So if you can kind of scratch it if you know a little bit of both.
Yeah, I mean, I speak Spanish, but I lived in Mexico, and so I
Yeah, it
remember
is very
speaking Spanish
different.
with some Brazilians, and I remember they were speaking Brazilian Portuguese. I was speaking Mexican Spanish. Honestly, the languages were so similar. It
It
was
is pretty much the
delightfully
same
pleasant.
structure, but there are a lot of words that
Yeah,
like are similarly written, but mean very different things. For example,
very true.
cariño would be something more like love, you know, like something like a pet name, for example. While cariño in Portuguese is more like pets, you know,
True.
like
And then the use of
cuddling,
words
for
that are just
example.
completely different.
So there's a lot of
Yeah.
words that like mean different things, but you pretty much can get by, you know what I mean? Los hermanos.
I mean, if somebody were to give you something, you want to say thank you, how would you say it in Portuguese? Obrigado, right?
Yeah.
Spanish?
Yeah,
Gracias.
obrigado.
Or.
Was walking my fish. What was the rule? Shut up, you nerds. You know that. Learning Portuguese because my sister-in-law is from Brazil. Yeah, it's something very funny as well. Something very funny about Portuguese, right? Is that even though Portuguese is a colonial, we learn Portuguese as a colonial language. There's a lot of Brazilians, much more so than our Portuguese people. So in that
I
way,
don't
there's a
speak
lot
Japanese.
of kids in Portugal that are starting to speak Brazilian Portuguese. So it's been kind of dominating the space of it.
Is that required in schools now in Brazil?
What exactly?
Is it required to learn Spanish?
It is optional, but you gotta choose either Spanish or English. You gotta choose either
Sounds like
Spanish or English.
California, where they
I chose
encourage it.
English,
Okay. Yeah.
as you can
Sounds
see.
like.
Try learning French,
I
failed
will.
miserably. I tried learning French for like 2 days, so 2 years, and the only things that I know from Spanish as of yet is just like introducing myself, saying where I'm from, my age, and saying thank you and good day and good night. Not gonna lie to you, stop looking hard in the pixie paws, killing me over here, Kindred. Shut up, you dads.
You got a lot of bratty chat people I've seen.
Oh, it do be like that. Like 50%
all
is
the
just
right ways,
memes and
though.
50% is just like people being that bad. In Spanish is
No,
hola hermoso.
it'd be fun.
¿Te quieres que te llamen hermoso? Pecador mucho. I hope that's spelled it right. Hello, newbies. Hello, as well. Very glad to have you here. And Ed
Congratulations,
Cookie,
then, maybe.
Hamami, thank you so much for the follows as well. What's your first language then? Portuguese, like I said, I'm Brazilian. Speaking of Spanish, Portuguese, I see you'll be doing more Spanish audios. You've done a Spanish audio before.
I have done a couple, but they're mostly just part-time Spanish speaking. There was actually one that I really want to do, and it's because I look very much gringo in real life. My avatar, the blonde hair, the blue eyes, the extremely pale skin, that is very close to the real life. It's close to me. So I do
I mean,
want
I
to make an audio
understand.
where it's it's
I mean, it's funny
more
because a
towards
lot of people,
Latinos.
especially from the US, they would be like, "Oh, like gringos are the representative. Why you calling me a gringo?" But like, actually, Hispanics and Latinos, like, to people in the US, Hispanics and Latinos are like exotic. You know what I mean? It's exotic. It looks different. But for us, in a way, like being from the US or European, it's already very exotic. So like a lot of people love gringos. Especially in Brazil, there's plenty of like
was
places that are
pleasantly
just like
surprised
bar
finding
do
that out.
gringos, which are just like places in Brazil, like bars of Brazil that are just like, somebody that immigrated here, and they're just like, you call it the bar do gringo. You know what I mean? Like gringo is just our word for foreigner. It's not a bad word. It's not a. Usually we mean it like, oh, cállate gringo. But it's not. It just means foreigner. It does not mean anything else. It's not derogative. It doesn't mean anything like that. So But I also find it as well that like it's very funny. The ASMR roleplay tends to be very limited to English. Like I've seen like people try to do it in Portuguese and it didn't work out. I've seen try to doing it in Spanish and it didn't work out. The most prohibited like ASMR channels that I see are always in English. So it's very particularly, isn't that so?
I feel like there's one you could probably do. Imagine playing a gringo, like a gringo boyfriend that you're introducing to a Latino family. So he's nervously practicing. His
But
accent's right.
I have done that before. I have done that before.
Really?
I've done a
It's
exchange student. Exchange student. Like,
Okay.
you know, I thought it would be kind of like similar, but it didn't do so well as well. It's, you know, it's like, that's like the thing about YouTube. It's also a lot of the reasons why I always tag my videos male or female, even though all of my videos, pretty much like 90% are like gender neutral. You gotta surrender to the YouTube algorithm sometimes, you know what I mean? It's kind of like that sometimes.
I've done some tests too. Have you ever tried testing audios by making a gender neutral one versus one that's more specific? Like, here's an M for M, here's an M for F, here's a gender neutral, just to see which one people gravitate more towards?
I've tried that, but I've never really noticed any particular like significant changes. So I just put as of yet I just put the title ASMR roleplay and like some tags, and I just like, you know, if people are going for male audios, they're probably gonna be fine with that either way.
Did one little test, and I found that, at least from my channel, people prefer the M for F audios, but there were a couple that felt better to be gender neutral, usually when there's a title used, like Lady Night or Night. And for one, it basically turned in from a gender neutral to straight up M for M. I'm like, you know what? This is too awkward just using, you know, I'm trying to be specific without being specific. It doesn't feel natural. So
it doesn't bother me to do like gender specific terms, but I always like making it as best as people like to self-insert as possible. It's like my choice of things. There are definitely people that make like, no, my channel's supposed to be F for F, and that's what I do. That's literally just it. But since, especially in like fantasy videos, like I noticed that especially in like fantasy, whenever there's like a vampire, werewolf, or like something of the sort, people like prefer it a lot better than just like straight up boyfriend. You know what I mean? So it definitely like, it's like so for me. I don't have any particularly strong feelings about it.
Test subject 255. That's an interesting little tidbit. I didn't know that Carlin did all three. Does he do it with all of his audios or just with a few?
That sounds like a lot of work, because you're pretty much like recording 3 audios per script. Does that work? Does that not feel repetitive? Or does he just post like all the videos on it?
I think what he might do, and this is me spitballing based off of what I've done, is with the Dragon audio, for example, I would record one solid story, but in the middle of the audios, if I ever dropped, for example, a she or a her, I would just switch it around, say the opposite, or then switch around, say the gender neutral one, you know? So you're just recording it one time, but you're saying 3 different words sometimes.
The first language is Spanish, but my English accent sounds terrible. He does with most of them I've seen. He does all versions. I don't know. I'm always like very insecure about YouTube as well. Something that I thought about doing was like posting the shorts that do well on TikTok on YouTube, the main account. But I don't know. I feel like every time that you leave a certain YouTube, like in my experience, that's just my experience. It may be different for other people. That's my experience with like making YouTube channels, with my YouTube channels, right? And that is that YouTube will often find you with a certain niche, and if it doesn't fit that niche, usually we'll think, oh, so the people don't want to see it, so I'm not going to show it. But like once YouTube identifies, all right, this is your niche, that's what you gotta do, you know. So you know, I've always been very insecure about like deviating from those things. Even if it means like making different channels, making different like kinds of content as well, and posting them on the main content, I'm always very like apprehensive. The second channel, I'm like more willing to do tests and like trying things out, but the main channel, I'm always like very insecure about deviating from the norm.
Yeah, what was the first?
I'd like to give each audio a shot. I mean, there's also a lot of work. It's also something that you gotta keep that in mind as well. Because like here's the thing, like recording, I don't know how it is for me. There's a lot of people that like get all in one shot, so it just like they can pump out as many audios as they can. But I'm someone that I'm very meticulous. Each phrase I record like 3 or 4 times. I've sent you a few raw audios before. You always see me doing retakes and retakes until I get it perfect. And usually that would go for like 40 minutes, like raw file. But then there's like another 2 hours of me like re-listening and making sure that it's perfect, adding all the spaces and like setting up the audios to be like perfectly. You know what I mean? So it's making 3 times as much work to make like different versions of like for the pronouns sounds like a lot of work for very diminishing returns. But that's just like how I work. You know what I mean? You don't know how many people ask me if I'm Russian when I'm speaking English. They demonize them on, making them a lot of them now make money from Patreon and other things. But it also depends of like a lot of the people. For example, I know that Icy, for example, like he offers a lot of like he offers the artworks on the things. So this really changes from like
all the links,
which I absolutely respect him. I even like in inspiration by Icy, I actually bought a iPad for a while trying to learn how to draw myself, and if you see some of my videos, there's like very limited artworks that look very amateurish. Those are the ones that I was doing myself. But I absolutely respect how much he dominates every aspect of his creation, and you know it shows he has a very unique art style as well.
Yeah, sometimes I'll find obscure artists out there. Like, here's a little activity in case you get bored one day while coming up with thumbnails. Go on DeviantArt or go on ArtStation, go on Pixiv, go on somewhere and try to look for people who don't have very many followers. Find a piece of art and be like, hey, and if I use this for a thumbnail, I want to... also, are you doing commissions? Because I can include that in the link that heads back to your channel in case somebody wants to find you. For one of the very first audios that I made, the dragon one, they've actually been people who've requested commissions from the girl who made that now. So it works both ways, you know?
Exactly. And that's also something that I'd like to a recent conversation that I've had, because I'm someone that I hate taking beef with people. I absolutely despise unless I feel absolutely necessary, right? And something that I've seen a lot of people doing is like a lot of ASMR artists started using AI art for like their videos. And I find that so anti-creative. Like I've seen so many channels just like taking AI art for like their videos, because if you the art is the piece that takes the longest to make, at least in my time. I can pump out audios like pretty much daily, but like it takes like a week or two to make like a proper ASMR thumbnail in art. So it is also very expensive as well. So I just went out of my way and just like I did a little post saying don't support ASMR artists that use AIR. You know what I mean?
I thought about that for a while, and for a while I felt the same way, just because of the amount of artists I know.
Like imagine like somebody like I put it in the post as well. Imagine like somebody just took your voice and like put it onto an AI, which can now replicate voices the same way that like people replicate art, and then just started like making an ASMR channel, like a voiceover channel, where they're just like reposting content that we're using your voice, or even just making new content using your voice. That wouldn't feel nice. You know what I mean?
It's a potential. I have thought about channels who use AI voices to do their narrations though, and I thought, you know, they're not really replacing narrators, are they? And even if the narration sounds pretty good, at least it doesn't sound like that cringy TikTok voice. There's still people who want narrators, but you're right, you need to help people who are trying to make a living out there. We're trying to get creative.
And I don't know, it just sounds so scummy to me.
It depends on if you're trying to just be
like, if you are a small channel, if you are a small channel and you're just starting out, you're not even monetized, then I'm fine. Yeah, you know, like you're gonna like take. But even then, there's a lot of artists that are pretty chill about it. They will just let you have it if you just ask permission. They'll be like, yeah, fine, just make sure to link it to me. Like most people like don't really care. So, you know, I dislike that. That rubs me the wrong way. You know what I mean?
We don't want to rub you the wrong way, my good man. We want to. I'm not going to say we want to rub you the right way.
God damn it, that was horrible.
You walked into that one.
I did walk into that one. Yes, I did walk into that one.
Oh man, I didn't set the fuse. I just set the box there because I saw where you were going. Like, too easy.
That was so
Titus, you just said that one of my characters is your profile picture?
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. That was horrible. I usually provide the art for my scripts. You know, like I said, it's just, you know, What is happening, guys? Oh, not much. We're just having like a chill ASMR rambling kind of stream.
Just rubbing
Me
Kindred the
and
right
Icy
way.
as well. If
Nothing
you
much.
follow me on YouTube, you'll see his channel linked in the title, and then you can go give it a follow as well.
Yeah.
Even saw it coming.
Be one of my subs. I mean, subscribers. Okay, that was poorly said.
Anyway,
So with that one.
hello Melina. Hello Ivory. Glad to have you here as well. Hello Evelyn, Tamiri. Oh, shake your hair. A lot of people on TikTok asking to shake their hair ever since that video went viral. It's actually kind of frustrating. Because I'm not saying that I'm complaining about it. Don't get me as like complaining, right?
Lean into it. Lean into it.
I put so much work trying to like, you know, post daily content, make sure that the content is unique, original, that it's like interesting. Then a video of my titties gets viral and it's just like, why do I even try? It's not that I'm complaining. It's not that I'm complaining. It's just you know.
Yes, Balana, he did say your name.
I'm sorry to both of you.
Malena. Whoops.
Isn't that nice?
Look, at least I didn't say Malenia. I don't play Elden Ring.
Hello, Windasher. Hello, your mama. Name a letter for Nada. I don't know. Hello, Alice. Hello, Ringoku.
And Foxy.
That's the humor we come for. I mean, you know. Hello, Titas. They're just down bad. A little bit. You can hear my dogs barking as well.
Actually, I think you might have heard Moose just barely. He's still a bit skittish at me sometimes. Like I said, he's like a tsundere, as in he wants to follow me around. But if I look at him, he pretends to run away. Didn't know he was pretending until I tried.
Nino does that as well. He likes being chased.
He like, oh man, I'm like, you are such a brat. You just want me to chase you. You're not actually skittish. You trust me, but you want me to chase you. And if I don't, then you follow me around.
Yeah.
So I looked over at him and he yapped and just ran away. Like, I'm not chasing you. Not right now.
Do you want to wrap things up?
Yeah, let's go ahead and wrap things up. How do you want to wrap things up? We want to.
You just want to. You want to do a call. You want to do a call to action.
Call what?
A call to action for yourself. Like introduce yourself. Tell people to follow you wherever.
Yes. Okay. So, my name is Icy. I'm going to be VTubing soon. For now, go to my channel, click subscribe, and you'll be up to date on when I'm going to start VTubing, probably in these next couple of weeks. But until then, enjoy the next couple of audios that are come out. We've got the mobster showing up with none other than myself and yours truly, Mr. Kindred himself, reprising the role of the deep voice Caleb, as well as a couple of finales, one of which that he's also going to cameo in. A Love of a King, currently my most popular audio. We're going to find out who kidnapped the listener, or who kidnapped you, I should say. We're going to find out what Mr. Caleb or Mr. Kindred has been planning this entire time.
I gotta say, Caleb is one of those characters that you love to hate. Like, he's horrible, but you absolutely love to hate, you know what I mean?
Yes, when I was listening to that audio, I'm like, he nailed it. He clearly had fun with this.
What can I say? I really do love voicing villains. You know what I mean?
Once you did the evil laugh, you're like, oh, come now, sweet. No need for language. I'm like, this guy just sounds like he just had fun. You did multiple takes. I'm like, nope, you did it right the first time. We're getting rid of these other ones.
Yeah, I always do multiple takes. Anyway,
oh man,
like I said before, in the 12th of August, this Saturday, this is gonna be the 3 years channel anniversary. It's gonna be on Twitch. It's not gonna be on YouTube. So go follow me on Twitch. Go follow me on Twitch if you haven't already. I'm gonna be getting the tattoo live. There's gonna be also a lot of collabs as well. People are gonna come in, and we're gonna do lots of fun stuff. So yeah, let's celebrate those memories together. And yeah, thank you so much for coming in, Icy. It's always a pleasure having you.
Thanks for the invite, man. Once I get my VTuber model, we'll have to do a couple of game collaborations. I might have to put you through some hellish games just to see how we react. Ladies and gents, subscribe to both of us. Subscribe to the, as we established in the early, the horny yet wholesome yet diverse man himself, Mr. Kindred, and the wholesome yet horny yet diverse Mr. Icy myself. Thank you for inviting me on your stream, Kindred.
It is always a pleasure. And I'll see you next time.
See ya. Goodbye.